And we're finally back. After a long hiatus, we are here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again. This is Black Friday, where these opinions are not for sale. My name is Christian. We got Omar. We got Chris today. And, guys, long time no talk. Well, actually, Chris, we saw each other about a week and a half ago, a little less than 2 weeks ago. We were attending the prestigious first annual Boys Leadership Summit.
And boy, was it a good time. Let's just say that. Hope to see everybody on the second annual one.
Yeah. Wait a minute. But y'all forgot I was a guest.
He was a guest for a special night.
Made a special guest appearance. It was very powerful. Very, very powerful.
Amazing.
More details will be coming out soon for the next one. So y'all stay tuned for those. Man, it's been a long, 3 weeks or so. I've had family coming in and out, friends coming in and out, and just a lot of stuff going on, work and everything else. And, everybody else has been, pretty busy themselves with things going on. Omar, what's been going on in your life? I know you've got some things that you'd like to share.
Yes, well, everyone knows I got really sick in February and beginning of March. Nearly died. Believe it or not, I nearly did go. But by God's grace, I didn't. Ended up having to leave Turning Point. And I just prayed and prayed, hey, what's my next move, Lord? What do you have next for me? I know you just didn't put me in this position to just leave me. And he didn't. I am going to be the Southern Regional Coordinator for Students for Life of America. So I'm going to be handling Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. I'll be based in Jackson, and I'm just excited to get to work on hopefully abolishing abortion someday.
Attaboy. Man, we're happy for you, man. That's big time.
We love babies. Black Friday, I think we all can say we endorse babies. So we do not say kill babies. We all love kids. I actually have one. She's great. So don't kill your babies, guys. It's not something that we should be doing.
That's right.
Oh, man, we're all about the babies over here, man. Mom and Dad, I know you're watching. Don't take that the wrong way. All right. Now. Oh man. No, that's fantastic, Omar, man. We're glad that worked out for you tonight.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah. Before we go ahead and get into it, I got to make the plug. Please like, share, subscribe to this video if you're seeing it and you enjoy what you're seeing here. Please message us also if you'd like to make a donation to make this keep happening each week. These things are fantastic. We love putting these on for you, but they are not free and they do cost money. So we always appreciate any and all donations that y'all give. Thank you again. And man, let's get into it. I mean, so it's been a few weeks, so we're gonna backtrack to a few things that maybe have already happened, and there's been quite a few bit of discussion on it, but we didn't get to touch on it yet, and we really want to. So the first thing I'm gonna get into, because I know we all don't agree on this already off the bat, so let's start off hot, is Juneteenth. All right, let's go in on Juneteenth, man. So we saw made waves because the House, officially, adopted it and said that, Juneteenth is going to become a federal holiday. And there was a mix of responses from the conservative crowd on it, especially in the Black conservative crowd. Before I give my take, I want to hear everybody's take on it and what they saw that transpired and everything, what they think about it. So,
Chris, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Personally, I have nothing against Juneteenth. I don't think that federal holidays are a great thing, just because then, post office and trash things like that just don't run that day. And as a country, we have so many federal holidays that it's getting to the point that we don't need anymore. I am fine for it being a national holiday, something that, the whole country can take a moment to think about and really remember, or take the day to think about and remember. I'm completely fine with that. I see no issue with that. My biggest issue is we don't need any more federal holidays, because we're getting to that point that we don't need this many days off this year, every year. And then another thing is the way that they wanted to name the bill. Somebody, I believe that they wanted to say it was the National Independence No, national. I don't remember. It had Independence Day in it though, and I don't know if Democrats remember or. But I do believe that we have an Independence Day. It's actually coming up. It's July 4th. So the fact that they named it Independence Day, it was all because they want to compete with the 4th of
It's
July.
been called here officially Juneteenth National Independence Day.
Exactly. So us having 2 Independence Days, a little redundant, especially since this was a Texas state holiday that was named Emancipation Day. If they would have named it Juneteenth Emancipation Day and it was a federal holiday, I would like it a little bit more. I still don't want another federal holiday, but I would like it a little bit more. It's obvious just another tactic for them to attack pro-America Independence Day and make it something that is more liberal, something more woke, and that's just what they're trying to do. And I don't support that. I would support, being pro-black, remembering this history, that kind of thing. But they have an ulterior motive that I just simply cannot support. So, if anybody else wants to, agree, disagree.
Okay, I'm going to chime in here. For one, like you said, Chris, I don't like adding on federal holidays. I think they could have switched it out. I want to say Columbus Day is a federal holiday. Let's just switch it out. If you really want to be woke, let's switch out one of the so-called bad holidays for a good one.
Hey,
if you really wanted to make a statement, that's
when am I supposed to buy a mattress then, Omarr? Come on now.
On Juneteenth.
There you go. They're probably gonna have some good sales.
Just have a Juneteenth sale. Anyway,
come emancipate these mattresses on Juneteenth.
Right. Anyway, okay. There is a difference between independence and emancipation. Number one, Black people did not declare themselves independent because, for one, we were treated as property. We were thought of as property. So to even come up and say we're human in the eyes of most white Southerners during that day, that was mind blowing for them. So the word emancipation should have been brought into play. Democrats knew what they were doing. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer knew what they were doing. I'm gonna start calling him Chucky from now on because he reminds me of Chucky or the seed of Chucky, one of the two. Anyway, now I'm all about celebrating history. This is a good history we're celebrating with the idea of Juneteenth because, as you well know, the history behind it is Texas landowners wanted another harvest. So they made their slaves, who were indeed supposedly free due to the Emancipation Proclamation and the end of the Civil War. They were already freed, but they didn't know it. And they wanted another harvest. And then the Union soldiers came, 2,000 of them? They came and to Galveston and told the slaves, hey, you all are free. You all are free. You are no longer slaves. That's a good history we need to tell our children about. It's good to remember. It's good to reflect, and it's good to show how we can move forward someday. But am I for adding on a federal holiday? No. Let's switch it out for something else. I mean, there's the last federal holiday that was added was Martin Luther King Day, which was a great thing. That should have been added, but we're adding on too many holidays, and I think there's probably going to be more down the pipeline to be added on. They may make Pride Month the whole holiday at this point. So that's my take on it. I love Juneteenth, but if we're going to make it a federal holiday, let's switch it out with something else.
I like Juneteenth. I don't like the bill that was proposed before Congress. I think it was ill-intentioned, wasn't made in good faith, and Republicans mostly went along with it because they didn't want to seem, like going against something that would make them look racist or whatsoever. There were about 10 or so that said no, and they had good reason to, at least because it's already recognized in Texas. I believe there are ones in Texas that voted no on it. But to call it another Independence Day is not true. It's not what it was. to undermine what it was. And then again, to do this deliberately to separate Americans from each other, black and white Americans, black and others, to say this is our Independence Day, this one's yours. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. It's horrendous. It's horrific. And it's exactly what they're doing, especially when you go onto Twitter and you do hashtag Juneteenth and the Pan-African fist comes up. There's no red, white, and blue recollection whatsoever. This happened in America, and they put up the Pan-African fist like it has something to do with Africa. It's got nothing to do with Africa. This was American-made. This was 100% American. And they're trying to paint this like it's something else. And that's the issue that I have with it. It's total pandering. It's nonsense. It's divisive. It's garbage. Then we have the infighting between people say you don't like Juneteenth, but you liked it when Trump presented it. Trump presented it as American as it could be in his platinum plan that he introduced. It was American. It wasn't no Pan-African garbage. It wasn't presented as another Independence Day. It was a holiday supposed to be recognized for the plight of people that were treated horrifically, unjustly, and unfairly in this country for centuries. And it's not to be trivialized. And that's the issue that I have with it, is that we're playing games again and again and again. And these people are falling into it. Everybody we see around us are falling into this game. I'm not playing it anymore. I'm tired of it. I see through this stuff all the time. It's absolute garbage. I've just had enough of it. You know, Juneteenth is good. The Juneteenth Independence Day is crap. It's garbage. I don't want it. That's all I got to say about that.
I mean, we're getting to the divisive and just terribly divided part of our country that, you know, it is going to come to a point where, you know, just like Lincoln said, a house divided cannot stand. And we're getting to the point where, you know, there are two different Independence Days in our country now. And just like you said, Christian, one for blacks and one for whites, like that will not last. We will not last as a country if we continue on this path. And that's the path that Democrats and people on the left want to take us. And I'm not saying that everybody on the right is for, you know, like racial equality, not that they're not, but they're not pushing it all the time. And that's something that I think we should be pushing to helping and, you know, alleviating the racism that does take place today. But people on the left are not doing it for the sake of, I want equality, I want true equality. No, they want to hate white people. They want to hate conservatives. They want to label everyone who disagrees with them as a racist, because apparently that's the worst thing you can be. And that's, like you said, Christian, that's why so many people did not vote against it. They're afraid to be labeled as a racist. In this day and age, if you go against anything that the radical left does, you are a racist. So get used to it. You're going to have to hold up, you know, you're going to have to just hold up and stand firm against those kind of name calling and ad hominem attacks. I just don't understand why not more people stood up against this bill, because it's coming to the point where we're going to be a divided nation, more divided than we are now.
It's all a part of the plan. It's all a part of the plan. Don't fall into it, y'all. I'm telling you. Turn off your TVs, turn off the news, turn off the media, go outside and talk to people. You're going to figure out that we all get along a lot better than they say that we do. A whole lot more.
I do want to point out at this one fact. There were Texans that I believe all of the Texas delegation in both the House and the Senate, all 38 representatives and senators, were for Juneteenth in the sense that they wanted to celebrate it in some way, form, or fashion. I don't think anyone was against that, but there were Texans that were against it. And then the two people that introduced the bill, one was Sheila Lee Jackson from Texas, and the other was John Cornyn, the minority whip from Texas. So I just wanted to point that out there, that Republicans and Democrats, both from Texas, were very divided on this, but apparently 99% of Congress voted for this. Whether they wanted to look like they were pandering or look like they were non-racist or whatever they wanted to look like, that's just how it filtered out. Sorry I had to bore y'all, but I'm the fact person. I'm the history person. So
no, I think it's a good point to make. I just, you know, I think the big thing with this, like the underlying lesson here, is that there is an agenda trying to push us all against each other. And if you can't see that, you have been watching too much of the news. You need to really open your eyes and realize that everything that is going on right now in this country is to divide us. Everything. They do not want people to come together as Americans, because we would honestly be a utopia of a country if we all came together and worked together for Americans, by Americans. That's what I think an American First plan really would be like, but that's not what they want. I think, and I, put on the tinfoil hats or whatever, my personal opinion, it's some sort of, globalist agenda. They're trying to break us down because we're a very individualist kind of society, and you can't have individuals in a global society. There's no such thing as an individual. You are a part of this society. So they're going to break us down, or they're going to attempt to, and I'm not, going to go into like my whole spiel on who or what or whatever, but it's obviously this is the attempt here, and they're going to continue these attempts and try to push us into division, push us more into hating one another. And if I could give advice to anybody listening, I would really say that don't hate people because they disagree with you. Have a conversation instead. You see this all the time where people are hating each other, attacking each other, hitting each other with bike locks because we have different political opinions. No, actually, maybe you should have a conversation and talk to one another. And really try to find some sort of compromise, because that's all that we can really have in a sort of democracy. There's not going to be everyone agrees on one thing. You're going to need to compromise. You won't have everything your way. So, that's something that I think we really need to work on in this country.
That's a conversation I just had with a good friend of mine. Unfortunately, she's in the midst of losing one of her best friends, literally over differences over religion and life choices. And the whole thing is that her friend can't comprehend the idea that agreeing to disagree is a bad thing and toxic. Well, in reality, that's what adults do, because not everybody ever will agree with 100% of the life decisions and the things that you believe or what you say. And I'm like, that's just reality. I don't know where your friend's living in, but it's not reality. If you can't live if people in this world cannot live understanding that not everybody agrees with 100% of the things that you're going to say or do, then you're not going to make it.
It's just like the people who want to cancel every single person who is transphobic or et cetera. Well, thank you for that. But people who are, want to cancel everyone because they don't accept you for who you are. Guess what? People are not going to accept you for who you are. If I let every time somebody was racist to me or did not like me or said something mean to me, if I let that stop me and I took all my energy to cancel them, I would never be where I am today. I have to use my energy and my time and my resources to better myself and not worry about people who don't like me. And that's something that a lot of people really need to work on. Like, if people are not agreeing with one another, the fact that they're like, oh, I can't be their friend anymore because of who they voted for. That's ridiculous. Between the three of us, I consider all of us friends, and I think we've gotten close these last few months, this last half year. Or I guess it's almost been a year now, but I feel like we've all been close. If you took us into a room for a couple hours and we all really hashed it out, I guarantee you there's a lot we disagree on, but we can probably walk out of that room and say, like, I agree to disagree, because we're adults, and that's how people should be.
Goodness, people. Talk to people that don't share a cookie cutter view of everything that you do. And newsflash is that there's nobody in this world that agrees 100% with what you do, because there's only one of you, and there's not other people that are just going to agree 100% with every single thing that you do or what you say. There's no other person that will. So just get back to reality. Understand that people are different, diverse views, diverse lifestyles, and that we can live that way, and that's all right. We're gonna figure it out. You don't have to agree with everything, but sheesh, one difference of opinion isn't a reason to end a friendship. Come on, y'all. You know better than that. Man, next up on the docket here, this hits close to home, just 5 miles up the road from me here. In Surfside, Miami Beach here, North Miami Beach. There's a horrific just accident. I mean, it's just, I'm at a loss for words. It's just a terrible tragedy. A condo building collapsed, pancaked essentially. And this is exactly what we're looking at here with what happened. Just I'm gonna let y'all see for yourselves.
Just into our newsroom, this security camera video. Now remember, this is from an adjacent condominium. Stunning. It captured the moment of the collapse, a 12-story complex simply turning to rubble. It almost looks as if it was an intended implosion. Here's ABC's Rena Roy with the latest.
The massive search and rescue efforts continue in Surfside, Florida, just north of Miami Beach, after a condominium building partially collapsed early Thursday morning.
We have a 12-story, 136 unit apartment complex that had sustained a partial collapse. The northeast corridor of the apartment had collapsed, approximately 55 apartment units.
The Miami-Dade Fire Rescue says more than 80 units were sent to the scene.
They are in search and rescue mode. They are trying to identify survivors. I know they have made contact with some, and they're doing everything they can to save lives.
First responders rescuing a young man from the rubble using a bucket to take.
Oh my.
This has been going on nonstop since last week when this occurred. We don't exactly, we're still looking for answers with how this happened, why this happened, and what the case were. Like, how do we not know this is coming? And we're still looking for those answers. There's currently 11 people dead, over 150 people unaccounted for in that building. So it's unfortunate that we're for sure that death toll will rise as we uncover more of that building. But just overall for Florida and just for the country as a whole, just seeing something like that happen just in the middle of the night, it was about 1 a.m. just to see that collapse, and then just getting text messages in the morning asking if I'm okay, and I had no idea what was going on until I turned on and looked at the news. And it's horrific, man. And my prayers and everything goes out to those families, man. I don't know what to think. It's absolutely awful. But we do have the best available people out there. Thank you to Ron DeSantis and co. for the speedy response, and the mayor and everybody to getting the people on scene. We even have the Israeli Defense Forces out here. They're one of the best recon teams out there in the world. And, we've got the best people out there looking to make sure everybody's okay. But, man, it's really kind of just put a lot of things in perspective, man. Life is precious out here. And it can just be taken away in just a split second.
I actually hadn't heard anything about this until we had talked about, you had mentioned this earlier. I did not see anything about this. I didn't know.
Chris, you're breaking up here, buddy. You're coming like half in, half out.
Omar, you go. Come back.
Omarr, go ahead.
Well,
Let's get to the internet right.
Well, all I want to say is we're glad you're safe, Christian. We're glad you're all right. My prayers and my heart goes out to everybody that lost their life, who probably did lose their life, but we can't really confirm that until it is confirmed. My head just goes back to Katrina, where, of course, the water was bad. It was really bad, but from that visual, that was mind-blowing to see. I will say this, God is always in control. He's in control. People don't believe this, but he is in control of the weather. So I always say this, every time he sends something big to a city, it's to wake people up so they can pay attention. The loss of life is not his intent. His intent is wake up, pay attention. I'm trying to reach you, and maybe this is the only way I can reach you. And I only say that to say, that was said when New Orleans and the Mississippi Gulf Coast went through Katrina, and they still haven't woken up with it. So my prayers are still going out to the entire city of Miami and whoever has lost in that tragedy.
It's not great, but to see the way that the city and everybody's rallied around the community, it's very it's heartwarming to know humanity's still out there. Mm-hmm. People are still there, and the community, we're ready to do anything that we can at any point in time to help. And it's it's really tough to see. But there's going to be good that comes out of this. There's still hope. We're still finding people that are alive there.
True.
So there is some good that's going to come out of this. But yeah, I mean, it's some of the people on the scene were the same people that were helping out in Haiti about a decade ago, when the earthquakes hit Haiti and it collapsed then. And
like I said, I just believe God is really trying to get our attention, and like you said, there are positives out of this. People rallied together. People saw each other's humanity. People saw each other as saying, okay, and I'm going to go a little bit political on this. We're not Republicans and Democrats. We're not conservatives, liberals. We're not this or we're not that. We're not black or white. We or Hispanic in that case. Doggone it. This just happened, and we need to help each other.
Okay, am I back now?
Still lagging a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little. I don't know what the word is, but yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, is Omarr here? I can't see Omarr.
Okay, now that's not good. That's not good.
Okay, now I can see Omarr. Now that he's it's not good.
Come on, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, we need you to weigh in.
Man. Is he there? Man's out.
He's there. He's just not there. If that makes any sense.
Well, while Chris frees that up, I want to segue over to the next topic here. Chris will be right back. He'll be back. The NCAA, a couple days ago, there was a COVID incident with the North Carolina State baseball team. They were in the midst of the College World Series. They hadn't lost a game yet. They were on a tear. And there's some positive tests that came out, and they only had 13 players that were eligible going into their game against Vanderbilt. They ended up losing that game and were subsequently tested again that night to check on the COVID positivity. They were told that if any unvaccinated players had tested positive, their season would be over. They would have to forfeit the next game. To their knowledge, to what they had said, none of the unvaccinated players tested positive at all. 4 of the vaccinated players did, and they subsequently canceled the next game and ruled Vanderbilt advancing on. And the players and people are looking for answers here because it doesn't seem to make sense with the whole protocol. It doesn't seem to be going along with science. And what we see again here is the NCAA again just ending the dreams of people in the name of amateurism because they're still not getting paid yet. That is going to change very, very soon based off the Supreme Court ruling and what Florida's got going on in California, and other states are going to follow suit as well. But it's pretty disheartening to see another institution that prides themselves on being the outlet for amateur athletics and for college athletes to build themselves and to get themselves out there, and then just taking the dream away from guys that'll probably never see this again. And just going back to the COVID response here, they have a full stands packed with no social distancing, no masks whatsoever. Yet their concern is that there's some positive test within a player somewhere that's asymptomatic, not showing any symptoms whatsoever and going on. And then they go ahead and ruin the whole dream for everybody. Not just the people that test positive. They said the whole team can't be there. So what happens when somebody in the stands does that? Are they going to shut the whole stands down? How are they going to know? It's just ridiculous to me.
What I'm going to say about that is the NCAA is very hypocritical at this point, given the manner in which they've changed their protocols into, okay, you don't have to have a mask. There's not much social distancing anymore, whether with the players or in the stands. But because of one positive test, you want to shut the season down. I remember when football season was going on, we did have high school football in Mississippi. My alma mater, Macomb High School, has not gotten past the first round of playoffs since 2001 when they won the championship, a statewide championship. Could never get past the first round of playoffs. Always got to the playoffs, won division, never got first pass. But this past year they did. They had one positive test, season shut down, couldn't go on. Really heartbreaking. So I mean, obviously I'm not a student for the past year at Macomb High School, so I can't really fully I don't know what they were feeling, but I empathize with them. I empathize with NC State. That's heartbreaking, especially for your seniors and for your people that are trying to get to the MLB. They don't get another chance to showcase their talents or their skill sets. So, and the College World Series, regular World Series, those are life-changing moments that you're lucky to get to, and you may never get to again. So to take the chance, the opportunity, whether they'll win or lose, to just take the opportunity away is disheartening. It's troublesome, and I think the NCAA should be ashamed of themselves. I think they should have quarantined that player. If you want to do that, quarantine them and allow those folks who passed the COVID test to go on and play for their teammate. It might have rallied them.
They took everything away from them, man. And they do it behind the name of amateurism. These are just student athletes. They're students first, they're athletes second, and now they have nothing to play for. They're done. So they're not playing for money, okay? They're not getting any money from this at all. They're playing for the love of the game, the opportunity to move on and advance potentially in their career, hopefully after they graduate. It's very, very few that actually make it out, to the professional level as it is. So there's a lot of people here that will not see this opportunity again. The NCAA just pulled the plug on them and they said that's it. It's extremely disheartening.
Shame on them. Like I said, shame on them.
Oh, there's a lot to be checked. And now there's even more, talk and speculation in here. There's some players saying that there are NCAA officials in there while they're being tested, before they're being tested, and everything, recording them with their names being read, their date of birth and everything else. They're saying, how's this not a HIPAA violation now?
Right.
They're being recorded by NCAA officials for what reason? Well, they're over here being recorded. Like, you can't just do that. It just doesn't make any sense. So,
the entire situation doesn't make any sense. The board should be allowed to play. Quarantine that one player. I remember when I was in the hospital, I got 10 COVID tests. I got used to them after a while. If you want to test them to death, test them. If that makes you feel any better, but do not take an opportunity away to play in something that few people get to play in. Don't take the opportunity away. Don't do it.
Chris, how we doing?
Uh-oh.
Coming in, Chris.
I can see y'all. I can hear y'all. I don't know why it's not working.
It's pretty computerized-ish. But
they don't want to hear a libertarian rant. That's what it is.
You know what? I will make this work. Don't you worry. You guys continue. I will fix this.
All right. Well, we're gonna try to make this work the best we can. Man, I'm gonna keep it on the sports wave, because I do like the sports. I went to Grand Canyon University, proud alumni, and something that was near and dear to my heart was going to a Phoenix Suns game for $5 tickets because they were so dang terrible. But now,
$5, really?
Absolutely, they were awful. They were awful back when I was in college. They were absolutely terrible. They're winning 20 games a season. One time, their best player used to be Tyson Chandler. Man, they were bad news. They were just bad news Suns, man. They were just terrible. Now you can't be lucky you get a game for less than 20-some bucks, during the regular season. They're actually a legit team. These guys can actually play ball. They're currently in the Western Conference Finals, looking to close out against the Clippers tonight. Actually, going to be Suns in 5.
What's the series? I've been keeping up with it a little bit, but I forgot what's the series again.
So it's the Suns and Clippers right now.
I mean, who's leading again? Is it
3-1? Suns are up 3-1 right now. Suns are up 3-1.
Oh yeah, that's a closeout.
Right here, we're going to talk about Suns in 4. So this is Nick McKellar here, a guy who catapulted himself to internet stardom based off of one altercation they had with the fans in the stands. I believe this guy lives in Denver, and he was a proud Suns fan from Phoenix originally at the Nuggets game. And it starts off with Nuggets fans dumping beer on him right next to his girlfriend, which isn't cool. You're going to have to see this. Minding his business. Oh, guy tried to sucker punch him right there. Right here. Boom. Bad move. Multiple angles here showing it. You got Nick McKellar here grabbing a hold and then just taking it to the guy.
Wow.
You didn't have it. Most iconic thing right there. Suns in 4. Suns in 4. Let it happen. After this altercation ensued, there are no criminal charges filed, no police reports, nothing whatsoever.
Okay.
There you go. Keep back.
Am I back?
All right. Yes,
you're back, man.
Okay, I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone. So
all right, this is gonna go for tonight, man. This is gonna go for the night.
Look, I don't know if you guys. I'm gonna just say this real quick. I don't know if you guys have seen Michigan news. Like all of Southeast Michigan is underwater right now, so I feel like that's probably has a effect on my internet, and that's why it's not working. Like Google the videos, you can see, like literally our entire freeway up to the bridge is underwater. Like semis are completely underwater. It's crazy out here, but that's just Detroit. We do it every day. It's all good.
You sound like New Orleans.
Yeah, it's a crazy year, I guess. 2021.
Why is Detroit underwater?
Just so what happened was we got so much rain, and then what I'm hearing is a lot of the pump houses failed because a lot of people broke into them and stole like the copper wiring from them.
Those are tweakers and homeless people that do that.
It's Detroit.
Yeah.
It's Detroit.
What are you gonna do with copper?
It's worth money. Why they steal it? It's worth money.
And then you buy illicit substances. But so that's basically what happened. Yes. And that's why our like literally if you look Dearborn Heights, all of that, like downriver, there's the city is like I've seen videos of people's houses, like the windows having water up to the windows collapsing because of all the water on them. Like it's crazy out here. Luckily, thank God I'm in my basement right now. I have no water in my basement. I'm fine. I just think that's probably something to do with my internet, wherever it comes from, that the rain and the water is having an effect on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're glad to know you're safe.
Yeah, glad to know you're good, even though Detroit's
Neither of you die. Please don't die.
After next,
because I can't help bury you right now.
Yeah, so. Next is gonna be like locusts or something. It's going crazy. What I was gonna say, I know that we already finished the topic, but I did want to mention about the building collapsed. That's where I think I cut out. But it was the first time I saw that was on the stream when we just watched it, and that is insane. I think you said 11 people are confirmed dead, and 150 people unaccounted for, and 150. I mean, just to imagine, myself, I have a family. Just imagine ourselves just living our life in our home, and then instantaneously it's over and your life will be changed forever or ended. And so I think you guys kind of talked about it. I was cutting in and out, but you really just gotta cherish the time you have here and now. And going back to what we started, what we were talking about at the beginning, we don't have time to be angry. We don't have time to hate each other. We don't have time to really want to argue and continue to fight consistently, especially as Americans. As Americans, we need to come together. We need to really try to put ourselves and each other first before any sort of agenda or any sort of party. I'm not saying that let's give away all of our values, though. A lot of people will say that, like, oh, you're saying we have to give up our values by compromise. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that we do need to work together as Americans, because there will not be a Republican United States. There will not be a Democratic United States. There is just the United States, and it will fail if we don't learn how to live with one another and work together. So that's what I'm hoping for, and that, I think, was something that really just snapped it into my head, that life can end any day. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. We need to make an effort today.
Chris, I was smiling just then. You know who you sounded like for literally 2 seconds?
Obama.
Senator Obama, 2004.
You see this, y'all? We ain't falling for that again. You stay away from that, Chris. We ain't falling for that again.
Hey, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. That was a good speech.
Well,
it was a good speech.
I've been told I sound like a politician. I do want to be a politician, so I'm getting started early, I suppose. But I've been told that before. But I appreciate Obama's a great speaker. I don't agree with him on much, but God, can he talk?
Yeah.
Man over here sounding, he's going to talk like Barack Obama and govern like Mad Max.
Everyone get your leather. We're going crazy.
Man, just every man for themselves. The libertarian paradise utopia, man. Just figure it out yourself.
Let's be honest. Oh man. But what topic? Okay, so Suns and Four.
Oh, Suns and Four, man. Nick McKellar's a hero. Love that guy.
We're talking about the Phoenix Suns, I'm assuming.
Yeah, dude. So,
yes.
Nick, we talked about the whole incident and what's been going on so far. It's close to home for me, man. I went to GC. We went to see games for $5 a piece back when they were terrible. Now they're actually winning. And then we have the whole altercation happen. And this guy's Barstool picked him up, and now they're selling shirts. He's getting 50% of profits. It's pretty cool to see. And he was totally in the right. Self-defense, by all means. The guy poured a beer on him and then tried to sucker punch him. Then he gave him the taste of his own medicine. And, he let him have it. And they said Suns in four. And what happened? The Suns swept the Nuggets in 4. And, they're up 3-1 right now against the Clippers. They play tonight at 9. After we get off the stream, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be watching the Suns play for Game 5 to win it. But it's been pretty cool to see, that sense, at least, to see that, just to get away from the politics for a bit. But, yeah, it's pretty funny to see. You got to ask Tyler Boyer about it. He's been going to quite a few of those games to see what he's been seeing there.
I've seen that on his stories. Honestly, I don't watch sports. I've seen more of the Suns on his story than I have anywhere else because I don't watch sports. But that's how I know they're doing well.
To be honest, I never thought I'd see the day where the Suns and the Clippers were this close to the finals. I don't know much about basketball as I do about football, but I do know the Suns and the Clippers are historically bad teams. So to see them to be in this moment, I think it's great for both franchises. I'm kind of rooting for the Suns because I do not like LeBron, but politics aside, I never did like LeBron as a basketball player. I respect that he's won championships.
It's the Clippers. It ain't the Lakers, man. It's the Clippers. We got a different team up out there.
Yeah.
It's the Clippers. No, man. LeBron ain't even – they took out LeBron in the first round. You ain't got to worry about that. And I'll say this is another thing. LeBron's been gone since the first round, and the ratings for NBA have been higher than they have been before. I'm not saying, could it be? That's what I'm saying. LeBron James isn't good for basketball. I said it. He's not good for basketball. You heard it here first. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's not good for mitigating anything between black people and the police either. So he's not a good role model. But you know what? I'll say this: he's a better role model than that Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, we see what he's doing to his
kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is just,
with his wife. How, in the Bible, it says the man is supposed to take the lead in the household. How dare you say, I don't take the lead in my marriage? So what are you're set and biblically, and I say this because I study. I really do study the Bible. Biblically, you're setting yourself to a whole bunch of old school curses and all of this other stuff. So for you to just let someone walk into your house and now control it, I just think Dwayne Wade ought to be ashamed of himself, for one. And for two, I need for him I don't need for him. I don't have a heaven and hell to put them in. And plus, you got to work out your own self salvation according to the Bible. So they need to fall on their face before God and repent before Judgment Day, or else that's
They ruin the life of a young man. They're gonna have to live with that, and that's absolutely horrendous and it's horrific.
they need to repent.
All in the name of woke acceptance in Hollywood. All in the name of Hollywood and white people, not black people.
The devil.
They didn't do it for black people. They
not
sure
white
did.
people.
They
White
sure
people are not the
do it
devil.
for black people. I'll tell you that. But and they're gonna have to answer. They will have to answer for something right there. Transitioning here into woke sports, I don't know if you guys saw, but Jalen Rose on ESPN's made some very ignorant comments, a few days ago about the NBA about the Team USA's Olympic roster for, basketball, which is comprised of all NBA players. We're the best of the best. We typically win now just about every single Olympics that we're in. And he smeared it because Kevin Love was added to the roster and said that he was a token member of the U.S. Olympic basketball team because they were scared of putting an all-black basketball team out there. Why it's ignorant and stupid in the first place with the race baiting is because we had an all-black team in 2016 already. We already had all 12 black guys in 2016. One of the best teams we've ever had in history, and that team went out there and just demolished everybody, won a gold medal. No problem. Yeah, similar enough, another one of his co-hosts had said, with the hiring of the Boston Celtics head coach, which is black, that, oh man, the first time ever the Boston Celtics have hired a black head coach. When that's not true whatsoever at all, too, when they had Bill Russell coaching the Celtics, already as it was in the 60s, and then Doc Rivers, longtime Celtics head coach, was coaching the Celtics forever. He's going to say it's the first black head coach. Where do these people make up this stuff in their head? I don't know where these people get this nonsense from.
The facts don't matter. They want that emotional response in their audience. Like, yes, queen, they hate black people. If you're going to have an all-black team in anything, basketball would probably be the sport to do it. Like, let's be honest.
Time out. Did you just say yes?
That's how they are. Have you seen this woke stuff? I mean, like the fact, like I understand if it was baseball, if it was golf or something, it was something, that was just off the wall. But basketball, that it doesn't make any sense. Like you said, Christian, 2016, there was an all-black team. It's a majority black sport, and black people are generally pretty good at basketball. Now, myself, I was god awful at it, and I don't watch it. But if you're gonna have an all-black team, I guarantee basketball will probably be the place to do it if you want to win. And why would it? I don't know. They just, and if it was an all-black team, they probably would have got their panties in the twins anyway, saying something like, "Oh, they only see us as workers on the plantation to win them gold medals and yada yada for an oppressive country." They make anything to be racist. It does not matter the way that it is presented. Anything can be racist.
Okay, if they don't want to represent the U.S. in the Olympics, then don't go. Can't you refuse?
Yes,
It's not about that, but we'll get into that too. I'm gonna pull it up for you. I'll pull it up to you because I'm sure you all saw it today.
People are just crazy. Everything is just crazy. Not necessarily related, but kind of sports related. Nike is full-fledged China now. So now you heard it first. I'm canceling Nike. I'm never wearing it again.
Adidas 3-stripe gang.
Sponsor us.
No, you know what? Let's us together. Let's create some shoes, some Black Friday shoes.
Man, ain't nobody want to buy those. Just like nobody wanted to buy the big baller brand shoes. Ain't nobody want to buy those.
Black
They
Friday.
buy Jordans. They buy Fridays.
We're gonna be the only
Jordans are
ones
Nike too. Air Jordan is Nike.
Wait, really?
If you don't know that. Yeah,
I really didn't. No, I really didn't.
Yeah.
I swear.
Oh yeah, Air Jordan Nike. Yeah. So here we go, another end award spectrum. We got Gwen Berry turns away from the U.S. flag on the podium, the U.S. Olympic trials podium, saying she was set up. Man, what you set up for? You took third. Man, you didn't even win. You third. You're on the podium. Okay, correct. You didn't win it. You took third, and it's in the U.S. Whose national anthem do you think they were going to play? Man, what did you think they were going to play? You thought they were going to go?
I thought they were going to play "Beat It" by Michael Jackson. What's going on? Like,
Come on, you think they were going to play singing Bone Thugs and Harmony? Like, what do you think was going to happen? Like, what is this, man? Like,
what's the first of the month?
Yeah, I'm like, sheesh. Like, what is this? Well, what do you think? What do you think they were going to play? Act all disgusted. So the story behind her is she's an activist athlete. You know, she's got her thing going on. Takes third on the podium, throws up her activist athletes on the national anthem plays. She wants clout. She wants it. So hey, I'm gonna give it to her for today because I'm gonna talk about it today. I'm never gonna talk about it again. That's what she gets. She gets today. She gets today. Mm-hmm. If you're so concerned about the national anthem playing, if you're winning something, don't go anymore. First off, you took third here, so you ain't gonna win in Japan. So don't take no flights out. I don't even know if you qualified or not. Don't take any flights out. You don't want to represent this country in that flag. Don't take any flights out. It's your right, your prerogative to do so. It's my prerogative to say, step your butt away from it. You have no business being here. That's my prerogative.
It's also the fact that, you know, it's obvious that every single activist, woke sports person is just trying to cash in like Colin Kaepernick. That man made bank off of being a woke sports activist so much. He really didn't have. I mean, he says he wants to come back to the NFL. He's not going to because he makes money off of his.
He's 30-something years old getting
he's just
hit.
An activist. He makes money off of being an activist, and they're all trying to do the same. If I'm good at sports and I also say I hate America, maybe Nike will make some shoes with my face on it or something, you know? Like, they're all just trying to get that, you know, in. And, I mean, this girl, she's not good at the sport. Colin Kaepernick was decent, but she's third.
Well, she's very good. She plays on the podium, don't get me wrong, but she's not the top person. And it's always people that aren't at the top that have the most to say. Mm-hmm. Always.
You know, for one, speaking of Colin Kaepernick, did y'all know on last year's Madden they added him back as a free agent?
I think I saw that.
Yeah, they're all upset.
And he got an 82 rating. I don't even think he had an 82 rating when he was last on Madden with the San Francisco 49ers. So that was crazy in and of itself. But going back to this this young lady here, she is nothing that America really represents or stands for, where we stand for unity. We understand we've had struggles and we don't shy away from them. But at the same time, to not acknowledge your country and you want to represent your country that's an oxymoron in my head. You know, so to be honest, okay, she didn't. What you said, Christian, she might not even qualify. I don't think that was enough to qualify.
She did actually. She did qualify.
She did qualify.
She said she was set up because she wanted to make a scene while walking off before the anthem played or walking off as it played, but they started playing it as they were getting up there, so she didn't get the opportunity to walk off. She was looking disrespected as she was getting up there, and she didn't get her chance to have her 15 seconds of fame. And that's why she was upset. That's why they say it was a setup.
Well, you know,
that's what you're here for.
You know the old saying, Christian, God don't like ugly, and he's not too fine and cute either.
It's the fact that she had that pre-plan. She's like, and once they play this, just imagine the shoes, imagine the socks they're gonna make, imagine the commercial I'm gonna be in. She's planning all this out. This is obvious. I mean, honestly, if I was a sports agent at this point, I might be recommending this to my clients. Like, you might as well just say you hate America. You'll make more money. I mean, and it's sad that that's the truth. I mean, they're gonna get all the the fame or infamy, depending on what side you're on. I mean, how long until athletes are gonna instead of holding the American flag, they're gonna be burning it on that podium? I mean, it's getting to that point. I would not be surprised that would come like sometime soon. And the fact that she's going to the Olympics, too. I mean, I have not heard that she's turned it down, but the fact that she's going to the Olympics to represent the United States of America, and she hates America or she does not like America, that's sad. We live in a free country, unlike most. She is more than welcome to leave and go represent another country. I'm sure that they would take her. She's pretty good. And she could probably go represent any other country. Well, not any, but I don't know. I don't even know what sport it is. Isn't it throwing the
hammer throw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she could probably represent most countries because the United States usually is on top in most sports. So she could probably go represent any country she wants.
No, there's millions of people waiting in line right now to get in. I'm sure one of them would be very happy to take her spot. She can go right now.
Speaking of that, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I believe it was New Zealand has a transgender athlete going onto their Olympic team that took the spot from it's a transgender. I don't know. Is it transgender woman is a man who transitions to a woman? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So a transgender woman who took the spot from I think it was weightlifting. New Zealand going to the Olympics is weightlifting, and took it from a New Zealand native who is looking forward to going to the Olympics as a woman. And now you have a lot of women coming out saying how much that transgenderism in sports is not fair. And I mean, it's obvious. Like, to be fair, I obviously I love women. I want to support women, and I want equality between the sexes. But if you take me, and I weigh a good 2.5, you take any woman who weighs 2.5, I'll lift them every day of the week. It does not matter. Same with basically any body weight. I will. You can outlift a woman. It really doesn't matter. I'm not saying all women. I'm sure there's some out there that definitely can outlift me, and I'm not saying I can't outlift all of them, but it's just unfair. It's getting to the point that this push on wokeism in sports, it's coming back to bite you in the butt, because I'm sure a lot of them were supporting it 5-10 years ago when it wasn't ending their careers, and it's a little laughable. I feel bad for them, but it's a little laughable.
You know what? Dealing with the whole transgender athlete thing, you know what? I'm not gonna give a full opinion on just transgenderism, period. But transgender quote unquote athletes should be banned. Why? It's cheating. It's literal cheating. Scientifically, you do not have the body structure. A man does not have the body structure of a woman. The hormones, the cells, all of that.
They said that the New Zealand powerlifter met the threshold for the level of testosterone needed to qualify to be a woman in the Olympics and everything that made the threshold. But that still has yet to account for muscle mass, bone size, everything else that goes into being a man. But the testosterone levels were met and everything else were at a certain level that they had required, estrogen and all that. So it makes it, but it's...
But that's still unscientific. To me, that's unscientific.
All right, so for the U.S., we need to start doing the same thing because I'm not trying to lose on the podium. I'm trying to win everything. So let's get it going. Chris, you're in. Let's go.
All right, y'all. I'm going to the Olympics.
Yeah. Just go. Put on a wig and just.
I got the boobs covered. We're going. Let's go.
Can you see me?
I can see you. I can. It's I mean, why don't more? I'm sure the trend's already going up. More men are going into our whatever you are. I don't know. Like, look, if you want my whole take on it, if you want to be called it and you're a decent human being, I'll respect you and say that. Do I believe you're the other gender? Probably not, but I'm more than happy to be respectful towards you. But in this aspect, I do think it's kind of cowardly. Play ball with people who can play ball with you. Like, for instance, I obviously, like, I'm not built for basketball. It's not what I'm going to do, so I'm not going to play basketball. I wouldn't go to the WNBA and try and play basketball with women. They would honestly try. They probably kill me because I'm terrible at basketball. But I'm not going to try it because I can't play with men either. But that's what a lot of them are doing. They're like, "Oh, I'm ranked 300th in the country in track and field. Now I'm number 1 when it comes to women." Like, that's just not. It's just not right.
Well, no, and that's the one thing is people say men and women are equal. Well, no, it's not how this. Like, it's just they're not. They had Serena Williams play a game against the number 200 something ranked player in tennis, and she lost 2 straight sets. Wasn't close. Serena Williams is the best tennis player of all. No, she can't beat the 290th best men, so stop trying to put her in that category. She might be one of the best female tennis players of all time. Let her have that. Why can't we let people have these nice things? But no, we got to ruin it and spread them across the spectrum, say they're the best at whatever. Like, and then when they're not, how could you? So, like, they're not. Like, it's just not physically possible.
You had back in like 2016, 2017, a under 15 soccer team beat the U.S. women's soccer team. Like, children beat the U.S. women's soccer team. And I'm not, say I don't know anything about soccer, don't know anything about the then U.S. soccer team or the then U.S. women's soccer team. But the fact that, 15-year-old, 14-year-old boys can beat like grown women in soccer or in their own sport that they are allegedly the best at. I mean, there is a difference between men and women. It matters, and especially in sports. I'm not saying that women can't accomplish what men can accomplish. They most certainly can. But when it comes to sports and it comes to strength and things like that, we are biologically different, and we have different muscle mass and size and strength. And it's just something that we have to just come to terms with and just agree on. I mean, and that's why it's just not fair to have biological men compete with women. I mean, it's gonna, like, when is the point when I think this is already happening. Chris, you might know this. Has a biological man fought with a biological woman in like the UFC yet or anything like that?
I believe there was one like a few years back, and like, into my knowledge, the woman cracked the other woman's skull. So yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, to my knowledge, yeah. So I mean, to what extent are we going to take this? Who knows? How far does this go? Don't ask, because we'll get there. Oh, how far could this go? Don't ask. Don't say those words. So where could this? Where it could go.
If we can just start changing stuff up, y'all are gonna see me on the Little League National Tour. I'm gonna be out there knocking out home runs because I'm trying to be the best of the best. I identify as a 15-year-old. I'm trying to play ball. Like, that's something that's gonna happen too. Actually.
You know what? I respect the mental and physical abilities of a woman, because here's the one thing women can do and men can't. They have babies, and apparently that pain is a lot. We think we go through pains, and we do as men, but childbirth is very painful.
I've seen it. It's rough.
Yeah. We know you've seen it.
I'm not trying to supplement something that I'm not. Like, I'm not. Right. Like, we're not equal. No, because I can't have a baby. They can't. Like, there's not equal. Like, it's just let people have what's theirs. Just give people what's theirs. Stop trying to do these things that are so unnecessary to prove a woke point for no reason. It doesn't help anybody, people. Those are my final thoughts, man. Just leave it alone. Jeez. Gender roles aren't terrible. They're good things. Men and women are really awesome because they can do different things that others can't. Like, simple. Man. Jeez.
I'll say this about my final thoughts. Please pay attention to your government and the people you elect. We didn't touch on it, but and I'm going to just go through this very, very quickly. Louisiana's governor and John Bel Edwards, who is supposedly a moderate to conservative Democrat, just vetoed constitutional carry. Mind you, there's supermajority Republican House and Senate in Louisiana. There's a Democratic governor only because David Vitter, who ran for governor at the same time as this guy, ran against this guy, obviously. His name was found in the little black book of the DC Madam. So basically, he was using, I'd say he was using taxpayer dollars for his own nefarious purposes. And that's why they have a Democratic governor down there who supposedly was pro-life and pro-gun, and he lied about being pro-gun. So, folks, watch these people. They answer to you, and if they're not listening to you, gather some people together, put your name on the ballot, and go knock on some doors and run. I've said this before on the show. I'm considering a run here in Mississippi. I'm still considering one just because I think it's that important. Like I said, get involved. Chris says it all the time. Get involved. It doesn't have to be a major office. Any office will do. Just because you're getting involved, someone else is getting involved. That's how you promote and create change.
100%. I very much agree with that. I love that. Definitely, people need to start running instead of posting on Facebook. Get off Facebook. It's garbage. They spy on you, sell your data. I think for my final thoughts, I'm gonna kind of circle back as that one redhead on the podium says. I'm going to circle back and say that we need to really come together. And I in our work and activism and what we do, I'm sure we've come together and we've seen people who will come up to us and say terrible things to us or wish death upon us or tell us that we're better off dead or that we work for evil people. We've all gotten that, and I'm used to it at this point, but I genuinely would like to have just a sit-down conversation with as many people as possible in order to get the message across that my end goal is a better America. Their end goal is a better America. How can we reach that? It is better for everybody. And that's what I really want. I don't want a America that is just for one group of people, one ideological group of people. That is not what I want. That is not what they want. Some of them do, I'm sure. And some people on the right, I'm sure, want that as well. But that's not what America is. All right, well, see, I told you there's some things we disagree on. So, I'm sure that there are some of us who want an America where we can have discourse and have a conversation. And at the end of the day, say, you know what? I disagree with you, but I still respect you as a person because we had this conversation. We had this debate. So like Omarr said, like I always say, if you are up for the challenge, go out and run. Run for.
And we just lost Chris.
Yes.
Again, like you said earlier, Detroit has a flooding problem that might be affecting the internet and what's going on.
It's like
he's back. Oh, he's back.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, why? Detroit's into what? Detroit's into what, guys? I'm sorry. So, what I always say, if critical race theory is being pushed all over the country, all these things are being pushed. Run for school board, run for state rep, run for state senate, run for something, make a difference. And if you ever have a question on running or like if you want advice or anything, I don't have all of the experience, but I'm happy to talk to you about it. Message me and I'd be happy to have that conversation. I think that's something that more young people really need to do. And I am also considering a run, not now, not today, but sometime in the future. I definitely am considering running so I can make that change, make that difference, and make a better America. So that's what I really want, and that's what I think people really need to do. Cherish time with your family. We've seen some terrible things in this world today. Cherish time with your family, cherish your loved ones, and cherish yourself. Take time for yourself. That's what we really need. So my final thoughts, guys, is technical difficulties aside, good episode.
Yeah,
man, glad to be back. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be back again very, very soon. Thank you all for your support again. If you feel free to feel it upon your hearts to donate, please contact any one of us. We'll let you know how to do so. This was another episode of Black Friday. These opinions are not for sale. See you next time.